I'm not here. When you get out front like this, sometimes people say you're trying to make money. I don't want your money. God's given me enough, and enough is enough. But I will tell you to support my foundation, #FightBack. I formed it 5 months ago to defend and preserve and protect the Constitution and our rights. And I'm going to do it. You don't have to vote for me. You don't have to give me any money, but go to #FightBack.law, fightback.law, and look at what we're trying to do and help us. Now, I want to tell you a personal story, if you don't mind. I was 16 years old. Yeah. I'm going to tell this story first. That bus, Mr. Hamilton brought over 1,000 people here today. Give him a hand, give him a round of applause. I was 16 years old. My mother died and went to the morgue, and my father went to prison. I didn't have one thin dime in my pocket. But I took the talent that God gave me, and I had the fighting spirit to make it. But in any other country in the world, I would not have made it. I made it because I was born in America, and America gave me the opportunity to succeed in my life. And that's why I love America, and that's why I'm going to fight for America, and that's why you're going to fight for America. This is from us. It's 1776. This is our battle. This is our fight. This is for our freedom. 1776 is back. Send a message from Georgia, the battleground state of Georgia. The battle starts here today at Wills Park, in this land, in this place, with these people. We're going to take our country back again. It's 1776. God bless you, and God bless America.
God bless America, Georgia! The energy in this place is electric. And the reason it is because what the left doesn't seem to understand is that we love this country so much so that we will fight for this country. So much so. They made the mistake of thinking that we were just going to roll over and take it, that we were going to let them steal this election, that we were going to let them make Joe Biden president of these United States. Not in my America. No, no. They made the mistake of thinking that we were still the party of Mitt Romney, the party of John McCain, the party that didn't know how to fight. But what they don't realize now is that we are the party of Donald J. Trump. We are the party of fighters. We are the party of courageous people who will lay it all out on the field and fight for this nation, because if we don't fight for it, who will? America is the greatest nation in the world, but it is not great by accident. It's great by the continued activism of bold Americans like yourself, who see that America, while it is great, it takes work for it to be great. Freedom just doesn't exist, it's preserved. Liberty just wasn't created, it was brought into action by patriots who had the courage to go out and fight for something they believed in. That is why we are here today, because America is so great that I'm going to fight for it. You will too. You will too.
God bless you.
Thank you.
If you'll help us do this, because unlike Brian Kemp and Brad Raffensperger, we're going to answer your questions. So what I'm going to ask you to do, and we've got to do it in a very orderly fashion, please. If you can come around to the bus, and we'll get a line here, and we'll pull you up here. You can ask your question, and Sidney Powell or I, probably Sidney, she's a smart one. We'll give you the answers. We'll tell you the truth. So, if anybody has a question, if you can kind of make your way around here, I'll catch some on the front row. But before I do that, there's a lot of people that have not been on the stage today. Their names have not been mentioned. I could call out some people on my staff, Kimberly Bennett, Bob Salban. There's a host of people that love this country. Members of the staff, Brian Castleberry, Jake. We've had so many people help us. I've had tens of thousands of emails sent to me telling me how they got cheated, offering to help. People love this country. And I want to thank every one of them. Even if they're not named, they know who they are. And God bless them. Okay. Anybody on the... If you'll try to give your question to us clearly, shortly, and succinctly. Here we go. Come on up. Y'all help her up. This is the people's stage. You may. Sir. Why don't you tell us who you are and ask your question?
Ann Walsh, and my question...
She's everybody, see, right?
I tell her that while I had the chance. What should we say? Give us some responses to give to friends or loved ones who think we're crazy. I'm keeping the faith. I ingest the news that I see that just have a lot of people who are discouraged, and so they've some of them have given up. But what should we say to them other than that we still believe?
I'm going to let Sidney answer that, but I'm going to tell you quickly what I tell them. You tell them that only one perfect man walked on the face of this earth, and they said he was crazy too, but he wasn't crazy. He was Jesus Christ. Tell them they said the same thing about Jesus. Sidney?
You know, these are very difficult times. Some of us have lost good friends, and family members have gone a different way over the fact that we are insisting on the truth. It's just extremely difficult. The press, the mainstream press is effectively brainwashing people. Yeah, I think the best way to try to approach it is to have a calm, factual conversation. But at the same time, we have to realize that the power of the media to lie is so overwhelming that it's very hard for some people who won't go to original source material or really be open to the facts to confront the reality that's really in front of them. Yeah, digital soldiers. Yep. General Flynn's digital soldiers have been a huge help in bringing us the truth. So there are lots of people you can follow on Twitter, but in terms of, you know, those personal relationships that we've all lost, other than trying to keep loving them and reaching out to them with the truth and maintaining that consistency, I don't know. There's no easy answer for that.
Thank you. Thank you. You could also tell them, turn off the television. What was it Joe Biden said? Tell them to go listen to the phonograph. I would tell anybody to think for themselves. Don't accept what you read in the newspapers and what you see on TV. They're liars. Go look up a color revolution, because that's what's going on in America right now. China's making its move because they need our land to grow their food. They can't take
All right, well, just a moment. I will find another live feed.
So keep your guard up. Defend yourself. And whatever it takes within the bounds of law, you fight for your freedom. Next question.
Okay, so my question is, I've been hearing a lot about the Dominion switching votes in the computer, okay? But when they did the hand recount in Georgia, why didn't we then see massive discrepancies between what the computer totals were and what the paper ballot recounts were? If they moved 50,000 from Biden to Trump, wouldn't we see 50,000 less Biden votes in the recount?
Ran them back through the computer.
Yeah, but then the paper ballots would have to match exactly.
If you get a hand count of the paper ballots and envelopes on the absentees, Donald Trump won Georgia by a landslide.
Georgia did not do a full hand recount of the ballots. In the one county where they did do the hand recount, we found exactly what you're talking about. It was a small precinct. I don't remember the total number of votes, but they flipped 37 from Trump to Biden in this very small precinct. It was 0.52 or 52%, I think, of the votes there. So they weighted Biden votes at 1.52, and they weighted Trump votes at 0.48 when the votes went into the machine to change them. People have been destroying ballots right and left. We have shredded ballots that we found. It wouldn't even be possible now in Georgia to accurately count the actual ballots. Yeah, they have been destroying evidence. There was a fake a software update in Fulton County. They took the server, they changed the server. They've been destroying evidence right and left. They know they're caught. But the reason, well, there's several reasons why we can't get it all. One, they're destroying evidence. Another, the machines are actually built to even try to alter the audit trail for them. But we'd have to have a real hand count of every ballot and every envelope to get an accurate count of the votes.
I left some folks out real quick. Ask yourself this question. If you sent any money to the Republican Party in Georgia, or you sent any money to the National Republican Party, where the hell are they? Where's Ronna McDaniel? Where's David Schaefer? Why are the Republicans not fighting for Donald Trump? If they don't fight for Donald Trump, including Loeffler and Schaefer, send them all home. Kay Kent, board member, president's team, my kind of person.
We, the people, want to know an answer to a question. What about all the veiled companies that Brad Raffensperger has? What? The various incorporated companies that Brad Raffensperger has. We would like to know an answer to that question. When we look at incorporated company, I believe that is public record.
I know about the law of defamation. I know about the damn crooked FBI, too. I represented Richard Jewell. I know about fraud. Ask a company called Avita. Stole $495 million of your taxpayer money. I got it back for you. The law of defamation says that if you make a false statement against somebody that's defamatory, they can sue you. Listen carefully, Governor Kemp. Listen carefully, Brad Raffensperger. I state as a matter of fact that you are criminals. You took money from Dominion. You took money from China with the COVID purchase. And I damn well bet you will never sue me, because the truth will prove that I am right. You need to go to jail. Follow the money. Follow the money. These fat cats sitting around spending your money, giving it to China, sticking it in their families' pockets. That's not America. This country's got to get back to the truth. This is what you're here for. You're here because you love truth. And I love truth too, and I know as a matter of fact, spiritually and factually, that only the truth will set you free. Follow the money. Find the truth. Let the people of Georgia know the truth, and let's get some new people running this state. Another question.
All right, how many people here voted early in person? How many people? Okay. Because at the precinct where I voted early in person in Dunwoody, at the Dunwoody Library, they did something illegal. I spoke with a congressperson yesterday who had me back up when I told him the story, and he was mortified to hear what I told him. I told him that after I pressed the stuff and the piece of paper came out, my daughter was with me, we were corralled over to a poll worker who looked at the top of the ballot for the QR code to tell us which scanner to scan our votes in. Did that happen to anyone else, or was it just in my precinct? How many other people did it happen to? Did they touch your ballot? A lot of people? Yes, were there 2 separate scanners? For everybody? No? Okay, well, it was illegal. They're not allowed to look at your ballot at all. And why? Why did they have us scan into 2 separate scanners, one for Biden and one for Trump? Did you know that the user manual for Dominion teaches them how to delete batches of ballots? Did you know that? Did you know that?
I'll tell you what I didn't know, because I voted in person, Buckhead Library. I never knew that my vote was going to leave Fulton County, pass through Venezuela, Canada, find its way over to Barcelona or Frankfurt, and that I had cast it, and we've just learned this, on a machine with software that is 75% owned by the Communist Party of China. I didn't vote on a Chinese machine. I would never have done it. We've got to get back to simple rules. They had one of the most legitimate elections in recent history in Iraq. They voted by fingerprint. It's not that hard. Think about the millions and millions and millions of your dollars that have been wasted running them back through these China machines. He who has nothing to hide, hides nothing. What is Brian Kemp hiding? What is Brad Raffensperger hiding? Follow the money, follow those corporations. Find out what really happened to your vote and who sold it to China. Gina Haspel Gina Haspel's the director of the CIA. Well, President Trump doesn't ask for my advice. If he did, I'd give it to him about Gina Haspel. Fire Gina Haspel yesterday. And fire Christopher Wray last week. The deep state permeates the Democrats. It permeates the Republicans. Donald Trump is fighting both parties right now. The Republicans are not helping him. The Democrats are not going to ever help him. They want to get him out of office even so bad they cheat openly. The only people that are helping Donald Trump are people like you and me. We, the people, are helping Donald Trump because we know that Donald Trump loves the people. I spoke with a close friend of the president's 6 months ago, and he told me the first time the president ran, he's thinking about building up his brand, and then he decided to get out and not run. And then he went across the country and he talked to the people. And he decided to run because he knew the people didn't have representation. He ran for you, the people. So he's not going to stay in office because of the Republican Party. He's going to stay in office because we, the people, demanded it. When we voted for him, I've looked at the real numbers. He won over 410 electoral votes. He won, damn near won every state, including California. 80 plus million votes. We're not going to let them steal our election. We're not going to let them steal our country. And we will die before we'll ever let them steal our freedom. When I tell you it's 1776 again, there were 56 men that signed the Declaration of Independence. They were pretty well off. They'd been in America for 100 plus years. They had a lot to lose. Their families, their plantations, their fortunes, the good names that they had built up over the first 100 years before 1776. 56 men signed the Declaration of Independence. Remember this part of that declaration. We pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. And most of them lost their fortunes. Many of them lost their lives. But they did it for their children and their grandchildren and the generations to come because they did it for freedom. It's our time now. Pledge your life, your fortune, your sacred honor to keep this country free. This is our country. Keep America free. God bless every one of you. Go to the governor's mansion. Go to the state capitol. Blow your horns. Send a message. This is America. We're going to keep it free. God bless you all. And God bless America.
What's up, everyone? Please let me know how you're doing in the chat. As always, please hit that like button. The more likes that we get in a short period of time, the more people the algorithm will bring into the chat to see what's happening. If you're new here, please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon. That way you'll be notified every time we go live. You should also join the Discord just in case YouTube feels that they don't want to send out notifications when we go live. I always post it in the Discord. So definitely join the Discord, download the app on your phone. That way you'll be notified every time we go live, no matter what. Big shout out to Puddin' Puss. Thank you so much for the donation and all the support. Thank you, everyone.
Years prior, way back from 2000, they were told, no, you can't vote. You already voted by mail. They said, no, we did not. We want to vote in person. They were forced to get, they were given a provisional ballot. I think it was done by force. They were never told, bring those ballots that you never asked for down to the office. We'll tear them up and you can vote in person. They were never told that. They were just told you can vote by provisional mail. They voted by provisional mail, and it was put in a sealed box. They asked me, could you help us get some paperwork, some kind of evidence that our vote counted for Trump, Purdue, and Lochner? I said, I'll do the best I can. When I went back to the office on Saturday, I spoke to someone. She printed it out. They eventually got the printout, but the printout does not show who they voted for. It doesn't show that they voted for Donald Trump. So I want to thank Ms. Powell and Mr. Wood. I consider you brother and sister in the law. You're my mentors, and I love you. And God bless you and keep you strong. And I'll help you anywhere I can.
Thank you all.
They want an update on the lawsuit. We're asking for an emergency appeal to the 11th Circuit for some of the procedural problems that arose unexpectedly. And I think the 11th Circuit will move very quickly and hopefully will order the impoundment of all the Dominion machines and devices across the state of Oregon. There's still the private stuff despite a court order to preserve the evidence in 3 counties. The FBI is nowhere to be seen. The GBI is nowhere to be seen. I don't know why our governments didn't order the impoundment and secure the machines immediately. I know that they're partly responsible for the fraud we've experienced. And the other big problem is we don't know. I mean, I would assume and believe that candidates of both parties and different special interests across the country, if not around the world, have benefited from different use of these machines and the software and the technology for at least 15 years or so. We have evidence that Hillary Clinton used it in 2016 to defeat Bernie Sanders in California, for example. So it's happened before. This isn't the first time. This is the first time it's been so blatant, and that's because so many of you across the country voted for Donald Trump that you broke the algorithm. We have a witness from Venezuela who knows how the machines worked. He was there with Hugo Chavez right through all of it. He was briefed on the operations, and then he saw it operating election night from the special control room where they could flip the votes, drag and drop and trash whatever they wanted to trash, and make sure Hugo Chavez won his re-election. And he said that as soon as he saw the voting stop in those states the night of the election, when all of a sudden they all stopped, that was exactly what had happened. The vote was so overwhelmingly for Trump that they had to stop counting and go in and backfill with fake ballots or take time to inject votes into the machine that didn't exist and to trash Trump votes. So yes, we the people of the United States elected Donald Trump president, and we're not going to quit until he is.
I will see you tomorrow at the state capitol. Thank you. Stay mad as hell. We're not going to take it anymore.
Stop the steal! Stop the steal! Stop the steal! How many of y'all have seen my mean mug? My name's Ollie Alexander. I created Stop the Steal in 2020 because I knew that Trump would be betrayed, and we needed to put people in the streets to wait for people like Glenn Wood and Sidney Powell. The cavalry is here, but we are the foot soldiers that need to stay at the Capitol. So tomorrow, 9 a.m., who's coming to the Capitol? 9 a.m., we need you at the the Capitol because there are 2 state Senate committees meeting. These committees wouldn't be meeting if 3,000 of you didn't come to Atlanta the Saturday before the Thanksgiving weekend. Thank you. We are changing the world. We are asking our Congress, our senators, our state senators, and our state reps to do something that's never been done. We Republicans don't have to lose the presidency. We control the state legislature. We control the Senate. We control the presidency. We control Arizona and Georgia, allegedly. So do not get up. Stay in the streets. Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets? Thank you. One more announcement. If your name is Patricia Carter, please come see me. I have your driver's license. Patricia Carter.
Hey, thank you so much, Morgan H., for the donation and all the support. I appreciate you.
Tomorrow at the Capitol, come between 9 and 10. You'll find that information at stopthesteal.us. We're going to have hundreds out there outside the Capitol when the 2 state Senate committees are meeting to talk about our votes.
Hey, thank you so much, Jason, for the donation and all the support. Alright, everyone. I really don't want to end the live already. Do you guys want to watch the Senate Homeland Security meeting they have going on right now?
Over 70 terabytes across the city and school system, which is had to be individually of new laptops to hundreds of staff members, which then depleted the stock of laptops that we had to provide to students at a very critical time in the school year. While we had ordered laptops with the intention of ensuring every student had a district device at the start of the school year, that plan was set back as a result of the cyber attack. This was an especially difficult consequence of this attack, as many of our students are participating online learning from home and needed reliable devices to engage in their learning. These preventative measures impeded our ability to operate normally and for our teachers to provide student instruction, impairing even basic functions like scanning and printing and having access to lesson plans. I am proud of the work that has been done by our IT team, our city officials, and district administration, and thankful for the investigative actions and the support from the Connecticut National Guard and the FBI. However, we do need to protect our critical infrastructure by preventing such attacks in the future. So I thank you again, Senator Hassan, for inviting me to testify before this subcommittee on this important issue. While the attack was unexpected and damaging in many ways, I am grateful for the way that our local, state, and federal agencies collaborated to address the cyber attack and assisted with the restoration efforts. We are all committed to serving our constituents, our students, in the best way possible. Thank you, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Superintendent. And I'll now turn to the chairman for an introduction.
Our final witness this afternoon is Bill Siegel, CEO and co-founder of Coveware. Mr. Siegel founded Coveware in 2018 to provide services to small and medium-sized businesses threatened by ransomware. They offer a full-spectrum suite of services from identifying and closing vulnerabilities before an attack happens to decryption and navigation of an attack that has happened to recovery after an attack. Coveware and other private sector firms provide solutions that keep pace with the criminals. So we are excited to hear from Mr. Siegel about the state of cybersecurity marketplace, what to do if your organization is attacked, and about low-cost steps that organizations of all sizes can take to enhance their cybersecurity posture. Mr. Siegel, you're recognized. Mr. Siegel, if you're with us, you are recognized. Is he disconnected? All right. Why don't we begin a round of questions with Senator Hassan, and we'll get back to Mr. Siegel's testimony when he gets back on.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I want to start with a question to Commissioner Goulet. Commissioner Goulet, you and I know all too well the challenges of putting together a state budget. Giving more funding to the state's information technology budget might mean giving less funding to emergency services, education, public transportation, or other critical priorities. Moreover, when recessions happen, state revenues decrease, which leaves budget officials with even harder decisions to make. Commissioner Goulet, can you talk about the challenges states face funding cybersecurity upgrades as they deal with reduced state revenues from the recent economic downturn? Do states have the ability to adequately fund their information technology budgets and better protect against cyber threats?
Thank you for the question, Senator. We have some really recent data from the 2020 Deloitte NASCIO cybersecurity study. I'll share with you the top 5 barriers to overcome cybersecurity challenge.
Just so everyone knows, I have the volume maxed out. I don't know why every time they do hearings and stuff, for some reason they cannot turn up microphones for political speakers. I don't know what the situation is. They just can't seem to understand volume and microphone usage. So it's maxed out. There's nothing I can do about it. Sorry.
Cybersecurity budget. And finally, inadequate availability of cybersecurity professionals. So I think that pretty well covers the gamut of the answer to that question.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll go on, just complete this round. So, Dr. Torres-Rodriguez, I want to turn to you, and I first just want to start by thanking you for participating in this hearing. All educators are facing unprecedented challenges right now, but to suffer a ransomware attack on top of everything else you're contending with means you are busier even than most other educators. I want to start by getting a sense of where cybersecurity falls in the very long list of priorities that a school district like yours has. You mentioned in your testimony that there is a Metro Hartford information service. What sort of assistance do you get from them? So, do you think that there's enough cybersecurity professionals to help the school district with the system you already have? And what sort of assistance from the federal government would be helpful, and did you receive before and after the attack?
Yeah, so just to give you a little more context, so we have about 18,000 students and 3,400 staff members here in the public school system. And the shared IT department, which is managed by the city of Hartford, has 6 field IT technicians in all.
Okay.
And there is 1 staff member assigned full-time to cybersecurity, and that is across all of the city, services. And so there is an opportunity, if you will, for additional support there. And with regard to the assistance from the federal government, Hartford Police and the FBI liaison there did investigate the attack and gather additional information. And the Connecticut National Guard provided assistance with the recovery effort for about 4 weeks, primarily helping to mitigate and re-image our district devices. That was prioritized, and we are deeply, deeply grateful for that. They have, the National Guard has a team that specializes in defensive cyber operations, and their support was critical in assessing the attack and helping the Metro Hartford Information System team recover operations and help ensure security. Overall, it was their assessment that this was a highly, sophisticated and complex attack, that the information system team took a wide range of appropriate measures, but nonetheless did impact school operations.
Well, thank you for that. I'm going to turn now to Mr. Ridgey. Thank you for your work for our nation's hospitals, both in terms of your current position and from your time working for the FBI. As a cybersecurity professional who focuses on preventing cyber attacks to hospitals, can you please lay out for us the type of attack that most worries you?
Thank you, Senator. As I mentioned in my testimony, the attack that I'm most concerned about are ransomware attacks, which have the ability to disrupt patient care and risk patient safety. These type of attacks can lead to medical records becoming inaccessible at critical moments in treatment. Even understanding drug allergies for a patient may not be available. And in certain instances, we've had ambulances being diverted to emergency rooms which were further away from the original intended destination. So in the medical field, obviously, any delay in urgent treatment increases the risk of a negative outcome. So ransomware attacks, especially as we've seen the increase recently, is the top concern, the most significant concern that worries us at the moment.
Well, thank you. And if I have a chance, I'm going to return to you with one more question. But first, I do want to turn back to Commissioner Goulet. Over the past decade, cyber attacks have increased in both their frequency and their ability to threaten our national security. Just as we have experienced with terrorism, the impacts of these cyber threats are not confined to far-off battlefields, but to our states, our cities, and our communities. However, as the threat has increased, federal support for state and local governments has not increased commensurately. As you note in your testimony, only 4% of Homeland Security grant dollars have gone to support state and local cybersecurity over the past decade. Can you provide your analysis for why you think that federal funding for state and local cybersecurity efforts has not been commensurate with the threat? What do you recommend that Congress do in order to address this?
Thank you. I so wanted to address that question in more detail. myself and my colleagues around the country have really a queue of initiatives that we would do to help state and local governments and education and really all of the state if we had access to more funds. So we've done as much as we could with those federal Homeland Security grant funds that we were able.
Hey, thank you so much, Furniture Guy, for the donation and all the support. I really appreciate you.
Cyber response program where we did take a whole of state approach, but we really could do so much more with dedicated grant funding that flowed in, cyber grant funding that flowed in a separate stream. And I think that it would, although we're slowly improving our cyber posture in the state, we could very much accelerate the improvement of cyber posture with a dedicated grant funding. And I would also like to reiterate that any such funding should include incentives for states to invest in a continuous manner as well.
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks. I do believe we see Mr. Siegel back online, and you missed your great introduction, and you only get one introduction, but if you're there, we'd love to hear your testimony.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Hassman, and members of the subcommittee. Thank you for the opportunity to share COVER's perspective regarding cybersecurity threats to state and local governments and small businesses. My testimony today is derived from COVER's role in cybersecurity incidents and the perspective that handling thousands of these incidents has given us over the years. Before we could try and solve this problem after we founded the company, we recognized that something was missing. There was no clean data on being collected on these incidents. The analogy that we use is you can't build safe cars without visiting crash sites, measuring the skid marks, and figuring out what happened. So accordingly, when we founded the company, we set out to build a large data set on what actually happens during these attacks. Our interactions put us right in the middle of these incidents. We work with forensic investigators, privacy attorneys, restoration firms, cyber insurance companies, and law enforcement branches of all kinds.
Do you know what's
the data that's exhausted and collected
changes here and there, again, likely because of adjudication. So we are probably going to launch that, but now I've had this explanation, we'll probably launch it not too long after we leave this press conference. I know that's not going to affect some people's view. They're going to go on Twitter and say, look, it's happening again, they're stealing the election, and whatever other crazy thing they want to say. As far as the January 5th election goes, a question was asked earlier as to where the cards came from for Senator Raffensperger's son who had passed away in 2018. That was, in fact, the New Georgia project that's associated with former gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams. And that's just want to answer that question real quick. And as far as the online absentee ballot request portal, we've gotten in 343,923 requests so far. And of those, there's about 41,000 that are pending on the dashboard. That means that the counties have been fulfilling over 300,000 ballots themselves. The state has mailed out, in conjunction with Gwinnett and DeKalb, over 604,000. So we have over 900,000 of the ballots that have already been issued. So the total amounts that have been requested, all in, including everything on the dashboard, is 997,195. So that means that we're going to be through the million mark tomorrow, still essentially nearly a month out from the election. So that's pretty impressive use of the tools that the Secretary has put in place to make voting safe, secure, and easy for everyone. Next thing, I think most of y'all are familiar with the fact that attorneys Lynn Wood and Sidney Powell had a little get-together in Alpharetta this afternoon. Lynn Wood, pacing across the stage, said, "We're not going to vote for these machines, not using machines to vote. And we shouldn't go out and vote for Senator Loeffler in Purdue." And I find it interesting that somebody who's had a Democrat voting record since 2004 is out there telling Republicans not to vote in an election. We encourage all voters to vote in an election. Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green, Socialist, Libertarian, whatever party you want to be, go out and exercise your vote. It's your right as an American. Another thing that Sidney Powell then said was the algorithm absolutely switched votes in Georgia. Not true. We did.
All right, everyone, there isn't anything else going on. There just isn't. So what we're going to do is I'm going to shut this live down, and then as soon as something pops up, we'll go live again. I'm not sure what other meetings are happening. I assume there's going to be some rallies today. Who knows? There might even be protesting today. But for right now, there isn't anything going on other than blatant fake news. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you, everyone, for the donations. I'm not sure. I don't think we had anyone join the membership program. Thank you to anyone who's purchased any merch. You guys are why I'm able to do this every day. You are keeping the channel rolling. So I appreciate all of you so much. Yeah, we'll be going live later for sure. Definitely did not get my fill for the day. We didn't even get an hour in, which is very unfortunate. But I can't make people go live. So I will keep my eyes open, and as soon as I find something worth showing, we'll go live again. 6 o'clock, Rudy Giuliani in Michigan. I thought it was in Arizona, but maybe not. I did hear that, though. Yeah, I know there is things going on later. That's what I'm saying. No matter what, we're going to be going live. But for now, we're going to call it. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate all of you, and I'll see you all later.